Hello, and welcome to another week of the Literary Lutheran Reads the Book of Concord. Today is episode 131, where we will continue to read through Article 23, the Marriage of Priests. In the meantime, good people will know how to control the use of marriage, especially when they occupy public offices. These often give good people so much labor that all domestic thoughts are expelled from their minds. Good people know this also, that Paul commands everyone to control his own body in holiness, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 4. They also know that they must rest sometimes, so that there may be freedom for prayer. Paul does not wish this to be permanent, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 5. Such chastity is easy to those who are well occupied, but the great crowd of unemployed priests in the fraternities cannot afford, in this sensuality, even this Levitical chastity, as the facts show. These lines are well known. The boy used to pursuing a lazy life hates those who are busy. Many heretics misunderstand the law of Moses and have treated marriage with contempt, yet they admire celibacy very much. Epiphanius complains that, especially by this approval, the Ankratites captured the minds of the gullible. They refrained from wine even in the Lord's Supper. They refrained from eating the flesh of all animals, in which they excelled the Dominican brethren who live upon fish. They refrained also from marriage, and in this particular gained the chief admiration. They thought that these works and services merited grace more than the use of wine, flesh, and marriage. To them, those things appeared to be profane and unclean and could scarcely please God, even though they were not condemned. In Colossians chapter 2, verse 18, Paul greatly disapproves these angelic forms of worship. For when people believe that they are pure and righteous because of such hypocrisy, they hinder the knowledge of Christ and the knowledge of God's gifts and commandments. God wishes us to use his gifts in a godly way. We might mention examples where certain godly consciences were greatly disturbed because of the lawful use of marriage. This evil was taken from the opinions of monks superstitiously praising celibacy. Yet we do not find fault with self-control or chastity. We have said before that spiritual exercises and putting the flesh to death are necessary. Certainly we deny that confidence should be placed in certain ceremonies as though they made one righteous. Epiphanius has said elegantly that these ceremonies should be praised for restraining the body or because of public morals, just as certain rites were set up for instructing the ignorant and not as services that justify. Our adversaries do not require celibacy through superstition. They know that chastity is not ordinarily practiced. The adversaries fake superstitious opinions to fool the ignorant. They should be hated more than the Ankratites, who seem to have erred by a show of religion. These Sardanapali Epicureans willingly misuse the appearance of religion. Sixth, we have many reasons for disapproving the law of permanent celibacy. Besides these, there are also dangerous to souls and public scandals. Even if the law were just, these should discourage good people from approving such a burden that has destroyed countless souls. For a long time, good people have complained about this burden, either for themselves or for others whom they saw to be in danger. But the popes do not listen to these complaints. It is beyond doubt that this law is injurious to public morals and has produced vices and shameful lusts. The Roman comedic plays still exist. Rome still recognizes and reads its own morals in them. So God punishes the hatred of his own gift and ordinance in those who ban marriage. For other laws, the custom was that if a benefit could clearly be shown, they were changed. Why isn't the same done with this law? There are weighty reasons to support such a change, especially now. Nature is growing old and is gradually becoming weaker. Vices are increasing. Therefore, the divine cures should be used. We see what vice God condemned before the flood and before the burning of the 5 cities. Similar vices have come before the destruction of many other cities, such as Sybaris in Rome. These illustrate what it will be like in the end times. So now marriage should be strongly defended by the strictest laws and warning examples. People should be encouraged to marry. This duty belongs to public officials who should maintain public discipline. Meanwhile, the teachers of the gospel should do both of these things. encourage unchaste people to marry, encourage others not to hate the gift of chastity. The popes daily enact and change other excellent laws. However, when it comes to the law of celibacy, they are as hard and cold as iron, even though it is clear that this is simply a human right. They are now making this law more burdensome in many ways. The canon asks them to suspend priests. These rather unfriendly interpreters suspend them not from office but from trees. They cruelly kill many men for nothing but marriage. These very murders of close relatives show that this law is a doctrine of demons, 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Since the devil is a murderer, John chapter 8, verse 44, he defends his law by these murders. This has been the Literary Lutheran Reads the Book of Concord, and I wish you a blessed day.